biggest childhood fear was, on an emotional level, not being able to connect with other kids. Like, I was always on a different kind of, I was in a different kind of mindset to other kids all the time, and I wasn't really able to like connect with them. So like when it would kind of become obvious that like I wasn't connecting with them, and you know I might have some trouble with other kids, like it really got to me, and it was something that I feared the most, was, you know, being an outsider and stuff like that. And yeah.
Childhood fears, it has to be spiders. I don't like the look of them. There's just something about them that's a bit spine tingling, to be honest.
So I remember for most of my teens, it felt like everybody else seemed to know what to do with girls, or at parties, or during football matches, or in school. And I always felt like I was pretending that I knew. And to an extent, that's a fear that's replicated in adulthood, because I kind of get the impression that I thought when I was kind of a teenager or early 20s that I'd be certain about everything as an adult. But what I found was, even though I moved out relatively young and started living my own life, that I was still just pretending that I knew what was going on, even though I really didn't.
Not to play that whole card, like, but you know, growing up where I was kind of one of the only coloured kids growing up, you know, so it took me a while to kind of get used to that, I suppose, like, you know, but yeah, it was always just a bit of that kind of thing of being different, I suppose.
I don't know if I'm happy, and I fear that I don't know how to make myself happier.
Biggest fear at the moment is not like knowing what my purpose is in life, and like feeling really out of place. You know, seeing people pass me by, leaving college, and me just like in the background, not being able to continue on, and just, you know, really lost. And it's really hard at times. It brings on a lot of anxiety. But sometimes, you know, I get comfortable with myself, and like I learn to just swallow it and not let it get to me. But it's a fear that I deal with like most of the time, just like not having any purpose, you know, day to day, doing whatever I have to do just to kind of, you know, just because I have to, but not having a true vocation. That's my biggest fear right now.
Maybe work. I fear going into work. Like, I know that's bad, like I should be happy that I have a job and all that, but like the people that I work with are not being bad, they're arseholes.
Just I suppose, like, it's not really a fear, but like, I'm sure it's the same as yourselves in college, like, actually probably not doing that and with your art form or whatever that is. Like, I don't want to look back in 10 or 15 years and kind of like have nothing to show for, you know, the creative process or the creative aspects we'd be into, such as music and film, like, you know.
Okay, my biggest future fear, and it's probably awfully predictable, is just the fear of not being here anymore. And it's not so much a fear of death, which I'm not that afraid of because it feels like an abstract notion at the minute, as a fear of just not being here, not being able to influence events as they occur on the earth. So for example, my mother would have always kind of spoken about, as my mother would say, and had these cliched sayings about things her ma used to say, and that eventually that's all I will be. I will be a sentence that annoys my grandchildren, that my children tell to them.
Yeah, probably money, not achieving my ambitions in life. It's setting goals. That's it.
It's just not making anything of life, I suppose. It's just failing, isn't it? Like, I'm at an age now where I kind of have to start sorting the head out. Gaffs and all that, isn't it? And but yeah, I think it's just stability, financial stability, a good job, a good life, and not being on the labour when I'm 40.